In professional cycling in recent years, two major scams have provoked laughter from fans and tears from sponsors. On the one hand, there's the biggest heist in the history of professional sport, performed by the White Kenyan on a Jewish multimillionaire, in exchange for him and his wife to defend and champion Israel even more wholeheartedly than the legendary Colin Powell did in his lifetime. On the other hand, less spectacular but equally effective, Peter Sagan through TotalEnergies, the popular electricity and gas company that swindles its customers with abusive prices and that received a taste of its own medicine with the signing of the triple Slovak world champion in exchange for €11 million and giving work to his brother Juraj and his pet rider Daniel Oss, among many others. This signing was so controversial that, to this day, even the guy who used to get so close to cokeheads that traces of their white powder would transfer to his own hair, Cedric Vasseur, claims that the signing of Sagan by TotalEnergies is the mirror in which he looks at himself for not signing the former alcoholic and lover of Marion Rousse for his Cofidis team. We're talking about €11 million that everyone knew were being thrown away, everyone except the managers of that shitty company, resulting in 2 victories for the Slovakian, one of which was the national championship of his country, and that during 2 full seasons for the charismatic cyclist, after being linked to Operation Adalas. But of course he will always have an excuse for his drop in performance by blaming the divorce from his explosive and media-savvy wife. But not even the advertising return of the signing was worth it, because the ridiculous videos from the owners of TotalEnergies toasting with champagne their millionaire star at the arrival in Paris of the Tour de France, after Peter gave them an 8th place in an inconsequential stage as the best result, well, that only got the same kind of views that usually this channel's videos get, a channel with almost no budget and made from home. Oh, please, leaders of TotalEnergies, give the cycling highlights team just half as much money as Sagan and we'll sponsor your shitty company in a more dignified and brilliant way. Oh, the ideas we have! And you, wise followers of the channel, you can also contribute by becoming a member of the channel, joining us. Or you can donate some money with a super thanks. But we know that you came here to see Sagan, a guy who had supposedly retired at the end of 2023, and not only that, but like many other peddlers of the past, in the healthiest sport in the world, he had heart problems after his departure from professional cycling. Curiously, 2 other riders were also related to the Tinkoff team where the good Sagan gave so much. The much-remembered world time trial champions and guinea pigs of the Sky team, Vasil Kirienka and Michael Rogers. These coincidences remain just that, pure coincidence. But the curious thing in Sagan's case is that at the beginning of 2024, he had to undergo 2 heart surgeries after exceeding 200 beats a minute and experiencing several tachycardias. In the Flanders and Roubaix champion's own words, he literally felt at the time like Sonny Colbrelli, a man who also had to retire after a cardiac arrest while racing for the team most affected by Operation Adalas, the Bahrain Victorious, the ones of the police raids, and the doper Christian Koren, the Slovenian who shared a 4-year berth with Sagan at Cannondale. Pure coincidence, as you can see. But the cyclist who has won the most and who continues to reap huge revenues from advertising sales and has done for more than 10 years has now decided to return to road racing despite his heart condition and despite having sworn that he would hardly race again except for his dream of winning an Olympic medal in mountain biking. How can this be possible? Well, actually, before the 2 heart surgeries in February and March, Sagan had already signed with a continental team. But not just any old continental team. We're talking about the hitherto unknown, but as of this very moment, legendary Pierre Baguette team, a Slovakian bakery chain, on a par with other great bakery sponsors of cycling's past, such as the French Brioche La Boulangère or the Brazilian Padaria Real. Now, this Slovak team, with only 3 years in professional cycling, has not been chosen by Peter simply because he loves the bacon sandwiches that he makes with Pierre Baguette products. No, it's because it's the team whose main sport director, after his anonymous retirement in 2022, is Juraj Sagan. The quota rider in the purest Antonio Nibali style, or Daya Quintana, or Prudencio Indurain, but with even less quality than them. And a man who, for 15 years, has been able to make a living from cycling thanks to his brother. And then there were his 4 professional cycling victories, largely thanks to his brother too, with the Slovakian national championships being given as a birthday present. Now, Juraj Sagan's latest meal ticket comes courtesy of the inclusion of Peter in Pierre Baguette's roster for the Tour of Hungary, a competition with fewer years of history than the Sagan brothers' pro careers. But it's in the 2 pro category, and therefore there's a large number of World Tour teams on the payroll. Now, possibly the eyes of most will be on the Giro d'Italia, but fans of the rider who put on such a show during the decade of the 2010s will be following the wanderings of the Pierre Baguette team. And so the first goal has been met. Yes, Sagan generates valuable advertising revenue for the bakery in exchange for a favour to his brother and allowing him to prepare physically for the Olympics. Just another example of how closed and inbred this world of cycling can be. Juraj Sagan must have seen the Virgin of Lourdes before him when Peter agreed to compete in May for his team, especially in a road race and after undergoing 2 heart surgeries. Now, the Pierre Baguette team does look more like the Dick Dastardly team, perhaps because of Juraj's experience and skill behind the wheel, but the Czechs and Slovaks on the team have yet to win a single victory in professional cycling. Czech rider Martin Wolter's 4th place in the Polish Tour of Malopolska is his best result in 3 years. Evidently, Peter Sagan will have a tough time beating this record against the plethora of stars that will show up for this year's Tour of Hungary, with World Tour teams like Saunier Duval of the suspicious duo Diego Ulissi and Mark Hirschi, Sky with the Hayter brothers, Orica with the aggressive Dylan Groenewegen, Radio Shack of the informed Thibaut Nice, and the Sunweb of the Tour of Turkey winner with a name very similar to that of the Belgian drug addict whoremonger. Or then there's the Astana taking the mummy of man on a tour of Central Europe as a relic for the countries that suffered so much under communism, allowing them to enjoy these ancient British treasures. At least Sagan will be able to chat quietly over pizzas and various sweets at the back of the peloton with Marc Padon on those stages, because only the first day is really adapted to the skills and profile of Peter. It's a very hilly course for this small-town race, but now, thanks to Sagan, many of you will follow it. But you don't have to be very smart to know what's going to happen. The record holder of green jerseys in the Tour de France had 0 victories in 2023. He hasn't raced since October. He's had 2 heart surgeries. He looks a little bit overweight, and he's also racing for Pierre Baguette, with 0 pro wins in its 3-year history. Peter Sagan is 33 years old, and he looks like a specialised mascot wherever he goes. Pierre Baguette will make a lot of money. The Hungarians will be happy to see another relic next to the mummy of man, and Peter will still enjoy riding with his brother on the road as if it were a family picnic, full of baguettes and full of vitamins. Oh, Peter, you've always been a spectacle, you've always been a sight to behold. You're such a vivid fellow. And that's why we love you.